I never thought I would be writing this post, but here I am. My wife Kate, 29F, and I, 32M, have been married for 6 years, together for 8. We met during our final year of college through mutual friends at a house party. I was immediately drawn to her genuineness and how easy it was to talk to her. She worked part-time at a local coffee shop while finishing her degree in marketing, and I would often stop by during her shifts. We started dating a few months later and got married 2 years after graduation. Our relationship has always been built on honesty and trust. When we first started dating, we both shared stories about our past relationships that had ended badly due to lies and cheating. Kate told me about her ex who constantly lied about where he was going and who he was with, only for her to discover he was cheating with multiple women. I shared my experience with an ex who lied about her feelings for me for months while secretly getting back together with her previous boyfriend. We both agreed that honesty would be the foundation of our relationship, no matter how difficult the truth might be. Last week, something happened that made me question everything I thought I knew about our marriage. Kate told me she was going to have a movie night with her friend Amy and would be home by 9 p.m. Amy has been Kate's friend since high school. They were roommates in college before Kate and I started dating. While Amy and I aren't super close, we get along well and occasionally all hang out together. She was even one of the bridesmaids at our wedding. I'm friends with this guy John. We met through a mutual hobby group about 5 years ago. We're not best friends or anything, but we call each other every few months to catch up and go fishing once or twice a year. He's a straightforward guy, never gets involved in drama, and has no reason to lie or cause problems. That evening around 7:30, John called me. He said he saw Kate walking into Sally's house about an hour ago and wanted to check in since we hadn't talked in a while. Sally lives a few doors down from John and used to work with Kate at her marketing firm. The thing is, Sally and Kate had a major falling out about a year ago. According to Kate, Sally had started spreading malicious rumors about her at work, claiming Kate was sleeping her way to promotions and stealing other people's project ideas. The situation got so bad that Kate had to switch departments to avoid working with Sally. Kate was devastated by the whole thing and told me she never wanted anything to do with Sally again. When John mentioned seeing Kate, something felt off in my gut. I texted Kate asking how everything was going with Amy. She replied quickly saying everything was good, they were having a great time watching movies and catching up. I asked how Amy was doing since I hadn't seen her in a while, and Kate responded that Amy was great, she had recently gotten a promotion at work and was really happy. Then I asked when she last saw Sally. She didn't reply for about 10 minutes, which was unusual because she had been responding immediately to my previous texts. When she finally replied, she claimed she hadn't seen Sally in months. I directly asked if she was certain she wasn't at Sally's house right now. No reply for several minutes. By this point, my hands were shaking and my heart was racing. I called her. As soon as she answered, I could tell something was wrong from her voice. She kept deflecting, asking questions like what makes you think I'm at Sally's? And why would you even ask that? We went back and forth for a good 10 minutes, with her neither confirming nor denying where she was, just getting increasingly defensive. Finally, I told her I was getting in my car right now and driving to Amy's house to see for myself. That's when she broke down and admitted she was at Sally's. She said she knew I wouldn't approve because of what happened at work, so she lied about being at Amy's instead. She claimed she and Sally had recently started talking again and were trying to work through their issues, but she knew I would be upset about it given their history. But here's what kills me, she only admitted it when she was completely cornered. If I hadn't threatened to drive to Amy's, she would have kept lying. She spent 10 minutes on the phone trying to gaslight me into thinking I was being paranoid or unreasonable for questioning her whereabouts. She looked me in the eye this morning as she left and told me she was going to Amy's, without hesitation or guilt. We've been through some incredibly tough times in our marriage. 3 years ago, we lost a baby at 20 weeks pregnant. The grief nearly broke us, but we got through it together. 2 years ago, Kate's mom was diagnosed with aggressive breast cancer, and we spent months helping with hospital visits, chemotherapy appointments, and daily care. Last year, I lost my job during company-wide layoffs and was unemployed for 6 months. Kate supported us financially and emotionally during that time, never once complaining about being the sole provider. Through all of these challenges, we always had one thing, complete honesty with each other. We promised never to lie to each other, no matter how hard the truth might be. Even during our darkest moments, we could always count on each other to be truthful. The lie itself about going to Sally's isn't even what bothers me most. I could understand wanting to reconnect with an old friend and being afraid of my reaction. What bothers me is how easily she lied, how naturally she kept defending the lie, and how she only came clean when she had no other choice. Now I can't stop thinking about other times she might have lied to me. Last month, she went on a weekend trip with her college friends. Did she really go with them? 2 weeks ago, she said she was working late on a big project. Was she? Every time she tells me she's going somewhere or doing something, I'm going to wonder if she's lying again. I haven't spoken to her properly since that night. She's been crying and apologizing, saying it was a one-time mistake and she'll never lie again. But how can I believe that? She looked me in the eye this morning and lied. She texted me lies throughout the evening. She tried to make me think I was crazy for questioning her story. She only told the truth when she was caught and had no other options. I need advice on how to move forward. I love her, but I don't know how to trust her again. Every time she opens her mouth now, I'm going to wonder if she's lying. How do you rebuild trust with someone who could lie so easily and naturally? Someone who only tells the truth when they're caught? I genuinely don't know what to do. Update 1. It's been 2 weeks since my original post, and I wish I had better news to share. Things have gotten significantly worse, in ways I never imagined possible. After the incident with Sally's house, I started noticing changes in Kate's behavior that I probably should have picked up on sooner. She became incredibly attentive and almost overwhelmingly nice, but not in a genuine way. It felt calculated, like she was following a script to make things better. She started waking up early to make my favorite breakfast before work. She bought me small gifts randomly, a new watch I had mentioned months ago, expensive cologne, even tickets to a baseball game. She kept asking if I was okay, if I needed anything, if there was anything she could do to make things better. At first, I thought maybe she was just trying to make up for lying, but something felt off about the whole thing. Every morning when I left for work, she would text me throughout the day, asking about my schedule and when I'd be home. She started sharing her location with me voluntarily, saying she wanted me to feel secure about where she was. But instead of making me feel better, it just reminded me that I couldn't trust her word anymore. Last week, everything came to a head. I was using our shared laptop, something we've done countless times before without issues. Kate had always been open with her phone and laptop because we believed in complete transparency. When I opened the browser, I noticed she hadn't logged out of her email. I sat there for a good 10 minutes debating with myself. I had never snooped through her things before, never felt the need to. But after the lying incident, something compelled me to look. What I found made me physically sick. There were emails between her and Sally dating back 6 months. Not just occasional messages, but regular correspondence. They had been meeting at least twice a month, sometimes more. They would coordinate times when I would be busy or working late, planning their meetups carefully to avoid detection. There were even emails where they joked about keeping their friendship a secret. But the real gut punch came when I started reading the older emails. I discovered that the whole workplace drama with Sally, the rumors, the department transfer, all of it, was completely fabricated. Kate had made up the entire story about Sally spreading rumors. She had created this elaborate lie to justify cutting Sally out of our lives, but in reality, they had never stopped being friends. Why? Because Sally knew something about Kate that she didn't want getting out. I confronted Kate with the emails. I didn't tell her immediately that I had read them all. I wanted to see what she would admit to on her own. At first, she tried to stick to her original story about recently reconnecting with Sally. When I mentioned the 6 months of emails, she changed her story, saying they had been trying to work things out for a while but she was afraid to tell me. Finally, when I told her I knew about the fake workplace drama, she broke down completely. Through tears, she admitted that she had created the whole story about Sally spreading rumors. The real reason? Sally had caught her having lunch with her ex-boyfriend Mark last year. Some context about Mark: he was Kate's last serious relationship before me. They dated for 3 years in college. Right before our wedding, he showed up at her bachelorette party, completely drunk, begging her not to marry me. He claimed they were meant to be together and that she was making a huge mistake. It caused a massive scene, and Kate had to have him removed. She promised me then that she would never have any contact with him again. But according to Kate, they ran into each other at a coffee shop last year. She claims it was completely innocent, just a catch-up lunch between old friends. She says she knew I would be upset given their history, especially the wedding incident, so when Sally saw them together, Kate panicked. Instead of admitting to the lunch, she created the story about Sally spreading rumors at work, knowing it would give her a solid reason to cut Sally out of our lives. But Sally wouldn't let it go. She kept reaching out to Kate, threatening to tell me about the lunch with Mark. So Kate had to keep meeting with her, trying to maintain the peace and keep her quiet. Each meeting led to another lie, another cover-up, until it spiraled into this massive web of deception. Kate swears nothing happened with Mark, that it was just lunch. She claims she's been meeting Sally just to keep her from telling me about the lunch because she knew how it would look. She says she hates herself for lying and wants to make things right. But I don't know what to believe anymore. The woman I married wouldn't have created such an elaborate web of lies. She wouldn't have maintained those lies for months, letting me comfort her through a fake workplace crisis. She wouldn't have involved other people in her lies. She had even gotten her work friends to play along with the story about switching departments. Every time I think about how many opportunities she had to come clean, it makes me sick. Every time she cried about the workplace drama and I held her, every time I defended her to others about the situation with Sally, every time I praised her for handling the situation professionally, it was all based on lies. I'm staying at my brother's place right now. I need time to think. Kate keeps calling and texting, begging me to come home so we can talk things through. But how do you talk things through with someone who has shown they're capable of maintaining such elaborate lies? How do you believe anything they say? I feel like I'm living in some bizarre alternate reality where the person I trusted most has turned out to be someone I don't know at all. Update 2. I wish I could say things got better, but what I discovered made everything so much worse. After finding out about Kate's lies regarding Sally and Mark, I spent a week at my brother's place trying to clear my head. During this time, I decided to do something I should have done much earlier. I reached out to Sally myself. Initially, Sally was hesitant to talk. She said she didn't want to get more involved than she already was. But when I showed her the emails I had found between her and Kate, she agreed to meet me at a local coffee shop. What she told me there changed everything. The lunch with Mark wasn't a one-time thing. According to Sally, Kate and Mark had been meeting regularly for the past year. Sally had seen them together multiple times, not just at lunch spots, but at the Marriott Hotel near their workplace. She had proof too, photos on her phone of them entering and leaving the hotel on different dates. Sally showed me text messages where she had confronted Kate about it, and Kate had begged her to keep quiet. The whole story about running into Mark at a coffee shop was a lie. They had been in contact the entire time, even before our wedding. The incident at Kate's bachelorette party, where Mark showed up drunk and had to be removed, was apparently staged. According to Sally, Kate and Mark had planned it to throw me off track. They thought if Mark made a scene and Kate publicly rejected him, no one would suspect they were still seeing each other. I felt physically sick learning all this. But I needed more proof. Through mutual friends, I got in touch with Mark's wife, Jennifer. Yes, Mark is married. He got married just 6 months after Kate and I did. When I met with Jennifer, she broke down completely. She had discovered the affair 3 months ago but had been too ashamed to tell anyone. She showed me messages between Kate and Mark that she had found on their shared iPad. The messages went back over a year. They weren't just about meeting up, they were intimate, talking about their future together, how they would eventually leave their spouses. They had even discussed having children together. All this while Kate and I were trying for a baby ourselves. Armed with all this evidence, I confronted Kate. This time, there was no elaborate lie, no attempt to twist the story. She just broke down and admitted everything. She said the affair started when she ran into Mark at a work conference last year. One thing led to another, and soon they were meeting regularly. She claims she got caught up in the excitement and nostalgia of their past relationship. When I asked about our wedding and the bachelorette party incident, she admitted that too. She said she had never really gotten over Mark, but she thought marrying me was the sensible choice because I was stable and reliable. She said she loved me in her own way, but she had always wondered what if with Mark. The worst part? While I was struggling after losing my job last year, while she was supposedly being so supportive, she was using our joint savings to book hotel rooms with Mark. Those late nights at work? Hotel meetings? Those weekend trips with college friends? Time with Mark. Even some of our couple friends knew about it and kept it from me. Kate is now begging for another chance. She says she's ended things with Mark for good this time. She claims she got caught up in something she couldn't control but she still loves me and wants to work things out. She says she'll do anything, counseling, open phone policy, whatever it takes. But how do you work things out with someone who could lie to your face for over a year? Someone who could watch you struggle and use your money to fund their affair? Someone who could try for a baby with you while planning a future with someone else? I've moved all my stuff out of our house and filed for divorce. I've also shared all the evidence with Jennifer, who deserves to know the full truth about her husband. Kate's friends who knew about the affair and kept it secret, I've cut them all out of my life. They're just as bad as she is. My lawyer says I have a strong case for an at-fault divorce due to adultery. The evidence from Sally and Jennifer will help. Kate keeps trying to contact me through different numbers since I've blocked her everywhere, but I'm done. There's no coming back from this level of betrayal. Update 3. It's been 3 months since my last update, and I thought I should share how things have played out. I filed for divorce the day after discovering the full extent of Kate's affair with Mark. The divorce proceedings are well underway, and it's been a messy process, to say the least. Kate tried everything to stop me from going through with the divorce. First, she showed up at my brother's place crying and begging for forgiveness. When that didn't work, she started sending long emails about how sorry she was and how she would spend the rest of her life making it up to me. Then she got her parents involved. They called me multiple times, telling me that divorce is a sin and that everyone deserves a second chance. Her mom even showed up at my workplace, causing a scene that almost got me in trouble with my boss. When none of that worked, Kate switched tactics. She started threatening to tell people that I was abusive, which was completely false, and that's why she sought comfort with Mark. She also threatened to claim that I had cheated first, saying she had evidence. It was all lies, of course, but it showed me yet another side of her that I never knew existed. Jennifer, Mark's wife, and I have been in contact throughout this process, supporting each other as we both go through our divorces. She filed for divorce 2 days after I shared the evidence with her. Turns out Kate wasn't Mark's only affair, he had a pattern of pursuing married women. Jennifer found evidence of at least 2 other affairs before Kate. She's handling it with incredible strength, and we've become good friends through this horrible situation. Sally reached out to apologize for not telling me sooner. She explained that she had felt guilty watching Kate manipulate me but was afraid of getting involved. Kate had threatened to ruin her career if she ever told me the truth. Sally has since provided a sworn statement for my divorce proceedings, detailing everything she witnessed between Kate and Mark. The divorce should be finalized in about 2 months. Thanks to the evidence of adultery and the fact that Kate used our joint savings to fund her affair, my lawyer says I'm in a strong position. Kate's attempts to paint me as abusive backfired when Sally and Jennifer provided evidence of her threats and manipulation. Kate still sends me messages from new numbers or email addresses, switching between begging for another chance and threatening to ruin my life. Last week, she sent me a long message saying she misses me and regrets everything, that Mark had ended things with her and she realized what a mistake she'd made. An hour later, she sent another message saying she would tell everyone we know that I'm gay and had been living a lie our entire marriage. I've kept all these messages from my lawyer. I've moved to a new apartment in a different part of town and started rebuilding my life. I've joined a local sports club and have been spending more time with friends who stuck by me through all this. My brother has been incredible, he's letting me stay with him until my new place is ready next month. Looking back, I'm grateful that John made the call about seeing Kate at Sally's. One small lie led to the unraveling of a much bigger deception. Sometimes the hardest part isn't discovering the truth, it's accepting that the person you trusted most could betray you so completely. The silver lining in all this? I've learned who my real friends are, and I've become stronger than I ever thought possible. Life isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than living with someone who could lie to my face every day. To anyone going through something similar, trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is.